Association to order. In attendance, we have Janet, Renee, Jenny, Alan on the phone, Lynn, Shari, Nancy, Raphia, Dick, and Andy. Alan, you're still here, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. Approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Lynn, I saw. Sorry, Lynn. Renee moved, Lynn seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Reza, speak out. Do we have?
Came early. Oh.
Sure. Welcome, Joel. Sign in, right? Welcome, Joel.
Joel Horowitz from Harper's Choice. Since a lot of you are congratulating me on my election to the Harper's Choice Board, thank you for speaking for myself. However, one of the things, we have a problem that we can't get a quorum because people don't realize what Harper's Choice is, and it goes to your identity discussion and separate from what CA is. And related to being a member, the election timetable for next year, the last weekend in April is the weekend between early voting and the presidential primary election day. So how do we explain to an apathetic community that doesn't know that you have villages or village elections that you're going to vote, and especially if you put up a sign that some people have in the past that says election today, on Saturday, they're going to not know it's different than the presidential primary. So I am not sure how to deal with this problem. Whether moving it to a different weekend has other problems as well. So I've been throwing that out there to apparently the village managers, but I've discussed it this week. So if you could come up with any ideas in the next 6 months to figure out how to deal with that. Related to that is the fact that, as I said, people don't know what Columbia does or what their village exists. My board vice chair has gotten a lot of attention on social media, Nextdoor and Facebook, and Julia McCready's guest thing, Jim Smith, about all these problems. People suggested and missed the Welcome Center downtown. And with all these new residents who aren't going to be paying liens, how do they know what Columbia does as opposed to the village or the county? So how are you getting any of this information that's in here out to them? The page in here doesn't really explain that much about what Columbia is. And for the residents who do pay the lien, it'd be nice, I guess, if you showed in the lien documents of how much is actually going back to their village. It says buried in here that it supports the village associations. I think it's probably the only mention of that. So if you had maybe pie chart or special insert for each village, maybe that would help. I also mentioned the dentist earlier, all these awards you have and that Jeremy's got. Nice if you displayed them here. And or if you were to have a joint thing downtown with the other downtown entities. If you still have vacant space in the Haven, until you figure out what else to do with that, that would seem to be a temporary place to have a thing. If you get them in the door, maybe they might join the Haven. So
Thank you, Jim.
it all goes how to deal with the apathy next year.
Any questions?
Yes, I do.
Alan, and then Shari. Alan?
Joel, do you know whether it's CA or each individual village that controls the date of each village's election?
I guess at least our documents say that it's sometime in April set by the board, but I guess Steve says how they coordinate it throughout the whole Columbia so that they're all on the same weekend. and that apparently would be confusion, I guess, is the problem if they were on a different weekend. But as far as I know, at least Harper's Choice, I think it just needs to be in April.
Okay, thank you.
Shari?
Yeah, I wanted to ask whether the village managers, they used to communicate the election results and then sort of post them all together. I could not find any postings this year on any of the villages, and I also, there was nothing to my knowledge that ran on CA's website in any way. So even if you participated in the village election, you would not be able to find out the general results of all the village elections. So is that something maybe that we have to do as a group to make it more salient?
So you're worrying about assuming that people know to look on CA or somewhere. I'm going with the people who don't know that the village exists, so they're not going to go to the village website and look anything up because they didn't know that they had a thing to do or it was there or so I'm less worried about reporting the results, is telling them that it's a thing and that
Well, I'm
it's
thinking of the
separate than
feedback
CA.
loop here. So you participate and then you get some kind of feedback, but that's a piece that I see missing. Would you agree with that?
Probably, I know the Harper's Choice sent out our way we got around our lack of a quorum issue, the email today, but I guess a lot of villages didn't have elections, so I think Wild Lake, Nancy,
No election this year.
apparently you had to fill a vacancy because you didn't have enough people, right?
Right.
So that's part of the problem.
That's actually not the story. Somebody forgot to get her thing in on time. So we had a number of candidates, which was a good sign.
But anyway, I don't know how to get people to vote in the middle of a primary election. We're going to be a lot of school board candidates, particularly in Council 4, probably running along with the presidential things.
Thanks, Joel. Anyone else? Okay, approval of the minutes from May 10th. Hopefully you all have a copy. Dick moved to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
This is May 10th, 2018.
Second.
2018.
Oh, God, who couldn't remember a year ago?
Second.
It's the same.
Renee seconded.
Wasn't here, but what the heck?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you. All right, election of the 10 directors to the...
I abstained.
Oh, you abstain.
Renee abstains too. but
Yeah, I
she doesn't
abstain
know.
too,
All
because
right.
actually I'm not
All
here,
right.
but I just
Okay.
second the motion.
You can still second. Okay, election of the 10 directors of the Board of Directors. We have a resolution electing Dick, Renee, Lynn, Janet, Alan, Nancy, Rafia, Andy, Ginny, and Shari.
moved.
Ginny moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Nancy seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. All right, there be no further business. I'm going to adjourn. Thank you.